Welcome to our show, A Gentleman's Take, a video podcast that offers a more refined and sophisticated view on everything in this journey we call life.
All from the perspective of a gentleman.
I'm your host, J.D. Denbow, and this is my entertaining co-host,
Mac.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Alrighty, so here's a little rundown of what you can expect today. We will cover a variety of subjects and activities and offer our take on them. Or as they say in the common tongue, sitting around and shooting the shit. Is that about right?
Sounds about right.
Well, it's another episode where we have a guest with us on the show. And then not just a guest, our first lady guest. I would like to introduce to you...
Libby.
Libby, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You do have the distinct honor of being our first lady guest. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you offer a new perspective to A Gentleman's Take. And we're excited for it. So
Excited.
we're pretty excited.
Nervously, anxiously excited?
I mean, there's things I'm not going to be able to say that I probably want, or maybe I can. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Libby, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am Mac's mother-in-law, so obviously I'm his wife's mom. I'm a teacher of elementary school. I live in another state.
Just visiting, yeah.
Yes, I'm here visiting for my spring break to hang out with my kids and grandkids.
That sounds like the best type of spring break right there.
I think so.
It's better than beaches and alcohol and.
I'm not a beach person.
There you go. See, right? Why waste your time
Yeah.
and money and efforts? I wish I was there.
On the beach?
Just there.
Would you rather be in the beach or the mountains for vacation?
Uh,
Like snow or beach?
That depends because I love both. I love the mountains. I love the beach.
No shot. Beach.
I've been to Colorado Springs. I love Colorado Springs. I love the Rockies, and it's just a good time. I've whitewater rafted, and
Way cool.
and I've hiked. I've gone up to the top of Pikes Peak, and it's just a good time. A good place to explore. I've been to the beach too. Love the beach, and love so.
Beach just sounds better.
I guess give me the season. I want to go to the beach and I want to go to the mountains in the same year.
Back-to-back trips.
Back-to-back trips.
Sounds nice.
I mean, especially when I make this YouTube money, when this thing really takes off. I'll get Five Guys someday,
I
too.
do at some point in my life want to snowboard. But it just sounds miserable just being in the snow and the cold day after day after day for my vacation.
Either way, that's you should try that once you make that YouTube money as well and go to those vacation spots.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you just got to be able to get time off.
I don't know when that's going to happen. I had to really push hard for a Friday. Well, I didn't really have to push hard, but it was very awkward just taking a Friday.
You know what wasn't awkward?
What?
Me taking past Wednesday off. I'm the one that is going to utilize his vacation time as much as he possibly can, and Mac is the one that
Sits capped out all the time.
He's just busy all the time.
I just sit capped out and lose my PTO.
Pretty much. So, and I guess that's called balance, but your time's coming.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
How about you? You get a lot of time off?
No.
You don't? Like the holidays and such? Or is
I mean, we get like the holidays. Like I get 2 weeks, well, not full 2 weeks off for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm on a week of spring break, which of course my students counted it. It's 9 days till we go back to school. So.
And not to mention, granted, I don't think you have the whole 3 months of summer off, but you do have some time to yourself.
A couple weeks.
Okay, so a couple of weeks. Wow.
Don't teachers get paid extra if they work like summer school?
If you work in the state I live in, I can't speak for other states, but in the state I live in, if you work summer school, which I am, you make so much an hour to work those summer school days.
That little bit of an incentive, huh?
Yeah.
I know when I was going to school, my last year in high school is when they implemented. I don't know if you have it in your state, but in our state we finally implemented a fall break. So I remember my last year here, we had a whole week off in October. I'm like, what's going on? They said, oh, it's fall break. I went,
no, we don't have that.
Okay.
I wish all schools could just get in the same calendar, like start at the same time and end at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I just wish all schools would have the same curriculum.
Yeah.
There,
Well, I
That's a whole episode right there.
That's fair. But then
definitely-
would it be the right curriculum, or would it be stuff you didn't want to teach?
Well, according to our government, they say it's the right curriculum.
Thank you, Daddy Government.
You know we agree with the government here.
We need that government sponsorship. So, oh man,
Gentleman's Take, sponsored by Uncle Sam. We want you to watch our podcast.
and you know, as our sponsors, you know what they would tell us to do? Stop talking about real stuff and go to the fantasy stuff we have provided for you. So let's seg into pop culture. What do you think? Libby, when it comes to pop culture, I hear you're a Johnny Depp fan.
Oh, the biggest.
The biggest Johnny Depp fan. Would you say since 21 Jump Street days or Nightmare on Elm Street days?
I love him in everything, so I've seen all of it. I own everything that he's in. I buy,
Nice.
so I own it all.
Not just film-wise. Do you have like collectibles that have him on it too and everything?
I have a couple of Funko Pop figures. One of them my friend gave me. It's Edward Scissorhands, and then one is the Mad Hatter
Nice.
from Alice Through the Looking Glass, and then I have his eyes and his name tattooed on my leg.
You have a Johnny Depp tattoo.
I do.
Respect. Respect to you.
Top that, Amber Heard.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then you must have been, I'm guessing, I don't know, thoroughly entertained during the whole trial, or more like, I mean, more. I'm guessing at Amber, of course, because everyone kind of just looked at her.
He was funny in that trial.
Yes,
Because he knew it was so ridiculous. Because that's not the kind of person he is.
Because okay, I'm not anti Amber Heard per se.
I am.
I think it's something that should never have been. Why was that on TV? Why was that the focus when there's actual trials and things that we probably should focus on as a society for great importance,
Like serial killers.
like serial killers or things with bigger political consequences.
True.
Of the variety. I digress. So, but we focused on this, and it's like they were covering that not quite as extensively as the O.J. Simpson trial from the 90s, but it was every day. And it's like the only good thing to come of it for me were the memes on the internet.
Yeah.
So if any of you all remember the Amber Heard taking a crap on the bed memes.
Like that's wild that we were watching that on TV. Like, talk about some lady taking a crap on somebody else's bed.
Okay, yeah, man. My nephew and I were laughing about this, and so daily I would find a meme. I'm like, wow, it's the gift that kept on giving.
Yeah.
I sent those to him daily, and I'm going to be posting them on the screen right now of my favorite ones, particularly the one that looks like Hulk Hogan flexing. I'm like, yeah. So that's the only good thing that came from this were those memes.
How mad or upset would you have to be with somebody to just drop a deuce on their bed?
$15 million worth.
True.
And I'd like to mention, like I said, I don't know. You saw the videos of Amber Heard when she was on the stand? Where was she taking some kind of drug? At some
I
point in
feel
time?
like she was. She's just, don't get me started.
And then
We could be here all day just talking about how horrible Amber Heard is.
I'm not going on about like her movies. There are roles I do enjoy her in, like 3 Days to Kill with Kevin Costner. She was okay. And then there was one I liked her in Aquaman with Jason Momoa.
I used to.
And but that's funny about the Aquaman thing because Warner Brothers released that film as part of the DC universe, and also in the Warner Brothers category or library is Harry Potter, which we're not fans of here, us. And
Speak for yourselves.
and they had a spin-off film called The Fantastic Beasts, and Johnny Depp played the villain, Grindelwald. Yeah, so he was the villain, and on the third film, he showed up to film, and I think he did some work, but because of the trial and the perception or misperception of him being an abuser, they fired him. Now, here's what's funny. They didn't fire her after she was found basically guilty. And so she's still going to be in Aquaman 2. I don't know if they've cut that role or just left it as it is or cut it down, but they were well into shooting. So she's still going to keep that role at Warner Brothers. They fired him, recast him. And here's the funny part. You know, they paid him like, it was $30 million for that role. And the way he smartly did his contract, for not even filming, or maybe he filmed a day. He got all $30 million. So Warner Brothers still had to pay him. Mm-hmm. And then she got to keep her role, and that a lot of fans just cannot forgive that. Because, again, it shouldn't be about the fans, but then again, they presented it to us on a platter to watch and devour, and as the public, made their judgments.
I haven't even watched the third film because he's not in it.
Right? Do you plan on watching it just because it's part of the Harry Potter universe?
I don't know, because, I never realized he was in the first film. Nobody informed me until...
I don't think he was in the first film.
He was.
Johnny Depp actually was?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I said corrected.
And so he was in there, and when I watched it, I was like, wait, how come none of you told me that Johnny Depp was in this movie? And they were like, well, we thought you knew. And I was like, well, I work for a living. I don't have time to just sit and, look at him on the internet. So I didn't know, and now that I know that they took him from the third one because of her.
Man, that was pretty crazy.
I just have not watched it yet because and I don't know if I will.
I won't.
I was to say, if you don't,
Because you don't like
Mac,
Harry
are you a Johnny Depp fan at all?
I'm not opposed to anything that he's been in. The ones that stand out to me.
Tim Burton movies.
He was in Blow.
That was
Blow.
good.
Yeah.
He was in Edward Scissorhands.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Those are like three of the big ones that I like that he's in.
Would you say Pirates of the Caribbean is probably his most famous role?
Yeah, I would say
that's
that's probably one of his most famous roles. But he was already well known by that point.
Did you both see the again with the same director and same actor and everything? They recreated the Lone Ranger about 10 years ago, where he played Tonto.
He played Tonto.
Did you like that film at all?
I liked seeing him shirtless.
There you go. I asked my mother that question when we saw The Matrix. I came out going, "Oh man, The Matrix was awesome." What'd you think, Mom? She goes, "He had a nice coat."
It's just
Got it.
I've seen like the original Lone Ranger episodes.
Yes.
From years, in black and white.
Oh yeah.
I'm old. So to watch it, one, in color, and two, to see Johnny Depp as Tonto, I was just like, that's
Bizarre.
strange. Yeah, it was just strange.
Yeah.
There were a lot of cool nods to the black and white series. Of course there was going to be.
Yeah.
But there was it seemed like a lot of mischaracterization going on. I watched it with low expectations, and I had a good time. The second time I attempted to watch it, I'm glad I watched it the first time. The cool thing I thought about or witnessed in that film was the Hans Zimmer did the score, and he did the William Tell overture with attitude. I'm like, dude, that's a regular go-to track for me to listen to.
Yeah.
So besides Johnny Depp and having that tattoo, which is awesome, by the way, I think you told me earlier you have a Rob Zombie tattoo.
I do. I have his face tattooed on my thigh.
Rob Zombie and
just
Johnny
above
Depp.
my knee. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Now, what is it about Rob Zombie? Is it a musician first and a director later type thing, or?
It's everything.
It's everything.
I love him. I just love him. I love the way he looks. I love his personality. I love his music.
Mm-hmm.
I love his movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, except for one. I didn't like Lords of Salem. I thought it was very slow and just very...
An artist can have an off project.
And that was my thought. I'm like, I don't have
Every
to.
now and then.
I don't have to watch it anymore.
If you love
I've
him.
seen it once. It's good. It's whatever. But
And maybe you'll revisit down the line and think, A, I see what he was going for now, or B, maybe I was just feeling off, because that happens to me often.
mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes it's like you're just trying to be creative, and sometimes it doesn't come out well. Like, I'm sure that we'll do some episodes of this podcast that we're just like, I'd have done it different if I could go back. But at the moment, you're just feeling like it's a creative venture.
And embrace yourself in all walks of your journey, sure, and then just learn, laugh, or move forward. But It's like Quentin Tarantino. You ever watch a Quentin Tarantino film well into his library catalog of movies, and then just be like, wow, that was really Quentin Tarantino-y. Like, wow, Quentin. Anyway, but going back to Rob Zombie, with my history of music, I actually bought one of his CDs. I was kind of surprised I did.
Which one?
It's the album that had, and I got to trust maybe you'll know the discography here. It's
Hopefully.
the album that had Never Gonna Stop, Speed Demon.
Oh, yeah.
It was about 2001, I think, when it came out. And
Hellbilly Deluxe.
Yeah, maybe.
But there's also a Hellbilly Deluxe too.
I at that point in time,
That
I burned the CD to my computer, and I don't even remember what the album art looks like. I just remember it was his face in like a turquoise lighting.
Hellbilly Deluxe.
Okay, so I bought that, and I actually kind of had to hide that because I'm like, the way I was raised, like, don't you listen to that music? And I'm like, but this one was awesome, and so I loved it. Now he became a film director, and he did a series of films. And I wanted to know, I was just curious on your take on them. I've never seen them, and I really wanted to. And I'm not really a horror movie guy for the same reasons of how I was raised.
Yeah, they're dark.
But he redid, in 2007, Halloween with Mike Myers.
And Halloween 2.
And Halloween 2. Now, all I kept hearing is how good they were, and probably better than the original concept. Did you enjoy those?
I did. Actually, his concept on them is different than the absolute original. He gives you more of the backstory of Michael, whereas originally you don't get much of the backstory, because a lot of times people are like, well, why is he like that? Why did he do that? And he actually gives you way more of the backstory of Michael.
Yeah.
And everything that happened and how yeah, you should see them for real. They're really good.
They've been on my list for 15 years. So I have to credit Rob Zombie then, because that resurgence in Mike Myers, I'm pretty sure is what kept it alive, because they've had a new Halloween movie every year for the last 3 or 4 years now, it seems like. And it's like it became the Scream franchise. So very cool for an old horror property from back in the day, still going strong. So, but yeah, Rob Zombie, good job. What's his actual name?
Rob Zombie.
Oh, I can't remember.
Now, a lot of people don't seem to be a fan of his wife.
I love Sherry.
Oh, didn't they do an Addams Family or a Munsters?
The Munsters.
Munsters, that was it.
Because Rob Zombie grew up watching the Munsters. It was one of his favorite shows as a kid. And I can pull up his Instagram. It's all on there.
Did his wife play Morticia?
Morticia was in the Addams Family. His wife
I keep doing that.
Talk about the Addams Family. My father-in-law looks like
I keep
Lurch.
mixing that up. Huh? Your father what?
My father-in-law looks like Lurch.
He really does.
Family.
I call him my Frankenstein.
Hey.
But Sherry played Lily Munster.
Lily Munster, that's right. But yeah, the Munsters thing.
It was great.
It's like, people today were so ready to just chop him down, saying, "Oh, he's lost his creative edge."
No, he hasn't.
And I was thinking, dang, I mean, whether he makes good films or not, he has made good films. But the fact that people are so quick to turn on the guy, that obviously sounded like a passion project for him.
It was.
Even if he went against the advice of agents or whatever.
Yeah, it took him a long, long time to put that film together. He wanted to find just the right location for Mockingbird Lane. And they built the Munsters house in neighborhood at this location because he said it has to be authentic. And so, yeah, it took him a long time to make it. It took too long.
I'm not the biggest fan of him in general, but I would give him props for being fully committed in everything he does. He shows full on commitment. If he wants to make music, he's fully committed. If he wants to direct something, he's fully committed. So I give him kudos for that. Like, be passionate about what you're doing and do it for real.
He showed up on pro wrestling several times, and he committed to that role.
Yeah.
So
you should see him in concert. He's like no other in concert.
I'll leave that to Mac.
Yeah,
He's our concert guy.
Kind of a difficult judge.
The last concert I saw him at was Rocklahoma.
Yeah.
Last year. And he had Frankenstein on his pants. Like on his jeans, he had a Frankenstein patch.
Nice.
That's cool. Hey, and if you can see your artist live or the one you really love.
On my birthday, yeah, it was fabulous.
Oh, man. That was not a win-win-win.
Thanks, Chad and Becca.
You want to know one of the coolest concerts I was at?
Which one?
I was at the White House, on the west lawn of the White House, 2009, for the 4th of July. And they shot the fireworks like right over the memorials and everything. Mm. And there was Jimmy Fallon was there. He was doing like stand-up. This is before his late night show. Mm. But he was doing stand-up there. Michelle Branch played there. There was one other group that played there. I can't remember off the top of my head. and the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
I had never seen the Foo Fighters in concert. It was the first time, but it was cool because it was like a more intimate setting. Like not a lot of people were there.
Yeah.
Right.
So they had these tents set up for all the musicians and everything, and you could see Dave Grohl back there playing with his boy, like they were running around.
Oh yeah.
Back in the back, because it was their 4th of July too, and so that's why I think that was one of the coolest concerts that I've been to, because I got to see like they say you don't want to meet your heroes and stuff like that, but like I really liked Dave Grohl growing up, so seeing him like interact and be a good father was really cool to me. And so
one of our future guests is actually a huge Foo Fighters fan, so I think that's going to be a good conversation to look forward to. Here's something I know. Did you know that it's crazy? I don't know if you ever noticed this, that the Dave Grohl, the lead
you
singer,
say the drummer from Nirvana, I'm gonna choke.
The lead singer from Foo Fighters actually looks just like the drummer from Nirvana.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna
And I was like, what? I cannot. Anyway, I think they should actually do a gig together. You know, I just thought that was so cool. But
You're so funny. You're the funniest guy.
Anyway,
I knew where you were going with that.
It just smells like Teen Spirit.
Just chalk it up.
so here's a question. You mentioned Jimmy Fallon and
Yeah.
his pre-Tonight Show days. Mm-hmm. And so I'd like to hit on that, given that you've seen a wide variety of things over the years. So I just have to ask.
Are you calling me old right
That's
now?
what I thought.
I'm saying you're well-versed.
We're going to go to blows.
You are well-versed and have an appreciation for the entertainment arts as I do. Because I look outside of my generation too. So my question is, when it comes to, say, the Tonight Show, were you a Johnny Carson fan?
I loved Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. He was quite funny. I mean, he just every time he would have who was it? Jack Hanna would bring his animals on.
Yes.
And the monkeys climbing all over his head and
And Joan
shoulders.
Embry and
Yes, and I laughed. So I mean, I was young, but I laughed. It was hilarious.
yeah. So yeah, people that we when we got to experience Johnny Carson. Did you ever get to watch it? Do you remember that when you were younger?
I did not get to watch
He
it.
retired in 1992. So
I was young.
okay, and I don't think they really did much reruns back then on talk shows, but yeah, or late night shows. But I am such an avid Johnny Carson fan that you ought to see. It's not I don't have a tattoo of the man, and I don't own Funko Pops, but I've got every video that's been produced of his show with where it's clips of his most famous segments. And don't tell anybody. I maybe went on a certain website and found something that might have been recorded off television, and I have it now forever preserved. The Carson Comedy Classic episodes.
Oh wow!
And that's every skit, everything he ever did from like a certain time to a certain time. And anyway, I'm just always happy to meet somebody that ever appreciated or liked Johnny Carson, because no one ever came close to that. Jay Leno maybe was the closest as far as his successor, but
I think Jimmy Fallon really made it his own.
He made it his own.
Instead of trying to mimic Johnny Carson or Jay Leno,
Which was smart.
he made it his own. And
his
I
first
think
couple
he did
of years,
a good job with
his
that.
first couple of years, I did watch some, and I thought, okay, it's hard to make something that was popular of the past relevant today, and I think he did do a good job.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of talk shows I do not watch. I do not like Jimmy Kimmel.
Nope.
No, not really.
I do not like James Corden, even though he has a likable personality.
I like his carpool karaoke.
Carpool karaoke.
That's
for
about
him is
it.
the only thing he should do.
I cannot stand. Yeah, and that could be a good YouTube channel or a Netflix thing. I do not like Steve Colbert.
No.
I think he's a hack. Even Jon Stewart, while I appreciated some of his humor, these were not good hosts. They were puppets. Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite segment that Jimmy Fallon does?
Gosh.
I know the one that stands out to me.
Or they're reading, like they'll have Benedict Cumberbatch read as Alan Rickman. Like, what's your, do these lines, and he does an amazing Rickman voice. Or the ones where he'll take people on rides and try to talk to them. Like he had Kevin Hart on a roller coaster, and dude's scared of roller coasters, but they're still trying to have a conversation. So, but then I've also been unplugged for like the past 5 or 6 years, so I haven't really seen much outside.
I like
of a
his
clip or two.
Classroom Instruments one.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah,
I've not seen that.
Classroom Instruments is cool.
When they did Enter Sandman,
Yeah,
I was like, yes.
they take like child instruments and they do like musicians' music. I didn't really I'd never seen the movie Frozen,
Right.
but Idina Menzel was on there.
I love
And they
Idina
did that.
Menzel.
They did that
gotta let it go.
Frozen song, "Let
Yeah.
It Go," and I was like, I actually like this song from Classroom Instruments on Jimmy Fallon.
Hey, if you can get a good performance, it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Megan Trainor did all about that bass. There's a few different good ones.
On the best on-screen chemistry, I'm going to say is, and it stems from Saturday Night Live days, is Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake.
Of course.
Yes.
A good time every time.
Well,
Every
that's
time.
they're best friends.
I know, and that really shone through. Like
Camp Winnipesaukee between the two of them.
yeah.
The best thing
The
that
Barry
was
Gibbs
ever
talk show.
the best thing ever on Jimmy Fallon was Jamie Foxx doing musical impressions.
I've seen that.
If you have 9 minutes to spare, and even
Yeah.
if you don't, if you just YouTube that is hilarious.
Jamie
I've
Foxx.
watched that probably upwards of 100 times.
You're gonna have to show that to me while I'm here
He
because
is-
we haven't watched that.
He does multiple voices. He does. I'm not really a big fan of his. I think he does Mick Jagger in the beginning, and then the second one that he does is John Legend, which he nails perfectly.
Yeah, he does.
And then the third one, he sings on top of spaghetti, but he sings from a woman's voice that I'll leave unnamed. And she's a very, very big singer.
Amber Heard.
But she's got a big voice. And he nails it.
Cool.
Jennifer Hudson.
Hudson. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I was like,
Jennifer
what
Hudson.
was her name?
But he sings on top of spaghetti, and he nails it.
What do you all think? Do you have a favorite talk show? Do you have a favorite performance from any celebrity guest? Let us know. Do you have a favorite Rob Zombie song?
Yeah.
Do any of you have a Johnny Depp tattoo? All right.
On my inner thigh.
I need to make sure my wife doesn't, because when we met and we watched it, we popped in a movie with Johnny Depp in it, and I'm just like, and all I hear from her is when he like popped on the screen, looking sharp, and I hear, I went. I looked at her. I said, "Really?" She goes, "Oh, sorry." And so
That sounds like her too. Like the shy. Oops.
to
I got
this
caught.
day. But anyway, but yeah. So
You should just make the deal my husband and I did.
what's that?
If Johnny Depp ever comes to the door, I can go with him. I just have to send my husband a check every month.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's fair.
What the heck?
If I had, way to go, man. That's a good deal. I need to learn from that. Otherwise he's just going to drive me crazy. So I don't like being driven crazy, but I got a feeling we're about to hit the crazy town anyways. So crazy take. Here we come.
So you today become the leader of a country that you founded. Who knows where it's at? It's just somewhere in the world, right? But you have a fairly like decent sized country, maybe like the size of,
Liechtenstein.
no, we'll say like Texas and California put together. Like that's the size of your country. Okay? Decent size. And you made all the rules. It's not a dictatorship, or it could be, whatever you want. But the country runs well. Most people like the country, would like to live in the country, but there are, let's say, 3 things that people, whether inside the country or outside the country, strongly disagree with. What are those 3 things?
All right. So people that disagree with how I run this particular country, that either live there or the world who views it and disagrees with me on it. So
Yeah, I'm giving you a little bit of runway to like
So here we
mold
go.
it into your
I'll
own.
tell you how this country is run. It's not necessarily a dictatorship. You could almost see it as like a kingdom with a king, but think Arthurian. Think the Knights of the Round Table type council with an Arthurian rule. So like King Arthur did, and how he ruled Camelot. He ruled it. If you're paying attention, or how he ruled it with integrity. He ruled it. Anyway, everything was done right. So I believe I don't want a chaotic country. So I think go back to Camelot rules. And oh my gosh, here we go. I'm going to out myself. But on that council will be 12 knights, and they're probably going to be men running this country.
Okay, so that's one that some people would disagree with.
They would definitely have a problem with it because there would be probably an internal movement to get a woman on that council.
I would lead that.
And exactly. And I would already state my reasons why, but then the whole world also would, if I ever took part of the UN, then they would, again, try to make sanctions and this and that against, and it's like, no, this is my country. Go away. So that's one.
Okay. One.
Two, very limited to no social media at all. No social media. How about that?
No social media. Wow.
I'm talking about there will be social media platforms with a lot of rules on it. This, my friends, is a family show. And while I encourage free speech, if there are going to be people on there, they don't need to be seeing filth. Sorry, that might be a little old school traditional of me. And here's the thing, though. All it's going to take is a generation. It's going to take a generation, like how they plan it now, where they're going to the children raised aren't going to know any different. It'll be the ones that knew what came before the country that are going to fight, or not. Maybe they came to Denbowville for a reason.
So you're rebuilding North Korea.
Yeah, but doing North Korea right.
Are you going to turn off the internet at will, like in Egypt?
If there is a problem. If there is a
Determined
problem,
by you.
but no, determined by the council.
Oh, the council, the 12
Of
dudes.
men.
Yes,
12
of the
dudes.
men.
Got it.
Then, yes, we will do what is necessary to make sure. Because here's the thing. We don't want to let a problem grow in the background unchecked and then blindside us later as a nation.
Okay.
And so we would rule that way because it's the right thing to do. People keep saying in this country they wish there was a place like that, I believe. And I've had more conversations with people. And again, just because it sounds strict and sounds harsh doesn't mean that life will actually be. You actually might realize, dang, this is actually what we wanted.
So, I'm not trying to shit on your world.
You can shit on it.
But picture that today. Just 12 random people that control every movement based upon what they think is good. And they can control everything that you do.
Well, no, because in the end, Arthur was still king.
Okay, so that dude, you rely on him for everything. And if you disagree with them, you're just ass out.
No, it'd be off with his head then.
If I'm the king and I'm saying I will, there's a reason he has his council, there's a reason this and that, but in the end, he'll have the final say.
Okay. You got anything else that people would disagree with that you do?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. How would you run your country and what would people disagree with?
So I would bring back, mine would be run similar to that, only more of the queen aspect. Mm-hmm. I'd have a king to give his input, but he's not going to do it all.
Okay, king and queen.
But in my country, people wouldn't like the fact that I would have public executions. Because I think that public executions deter the crime a little bit. Unlike now where people go, oh, yeah, they got executed, and yeah, you don't know. So
I'm going to claim that for my third. I'm going to go ahead and thank you so much. I believe in that myself.
We'll just all agree to do the executions thing.
So they wouldn't agree with the public executions.
That's a good one.
I also would have to say that there would have to be different curriculum for educating children.
AKA propaganda.
Yes, to keep them from...
Yes.
Not
determined by the
so
queen.
we're in
guessing.
agreement that our countries are we can guarantee our children, people can rest assured their children will be safe in what they learn and what they hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
and not have
upon
to
your views.
Well, truly.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
It's yeah.
Everybody.
Why should they trust me? Why should they
in
trust
the world thinks that they're the end all be all when it comes to knowledge, that they have the good knowledge and everybody else is wrong.
I'm not saying I still learn. I'm a teacher and I still
and we're
go
men
to
and we
classes
make
and
mistakes.
learn.
But there is one thing I was going to say. There was a reason why we would be doing it that way because, and whether one is religious or not, we would be godly men. And that would be the prerequisite. It's not this free religion or that on the council. It's how will God lead this nation and what would his will be. If that's the moral compass.
So you would run it by biblical terms.
To the best of our ability, and if you can throw anything in there like, well, Old Testament did this and that. Getting past semantics, it is a Christian-led nation with Christian values, which this country supposedly was founded upon. Then that's what I would push for and really push for it. Not say that's the required religion of this town, but this is how this country, but it's going to be run this way.
So mine would not be.
So, and that's why I feel like I could be seen as a piece of crap, but at least that's where my values would come from.
Yeah.
If I'm to explain my values.
My values would come more from the Buddhist perspective, maybe. Be kind to other people.
Do unto others.
Be kind to the earth. Be kind to yourself. Self-care. Be loving, not hateful. I come across so many hateful people.
Sure.
And it's just like, I would want to just kick hateful people out of my country.
Would you be okay being neighbors with Denbow Stein?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I would probably take it a different direction than you guys are taking it. So you guys are putting things in place like to build it the way that you want. I'm not saying that I'd have an anarchy in the fact that there would be no rules, but the only laws that would be in my country are laws that impact other people. So if you're thinking about something that you would either want to be a law or not a law, and it doesn't impact another person, it's not a law. So like theft, that would be against the law because you're stealing from somebody else.
Impacting
Murder,
their life, yes.
You're stealing from somebody else. So if it impacts somebody else, then it's a law. But aside from that...
And you're the leader of this nation.
Correct.
You're the leader of your nation.
That's right.
And I'm the leader of my nation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, just for the sake of a discussion, I didn't mean to derail you, but for the sake of the discussion...
But you did. Keep going.
Let's just say the United States itself was divvied up, and we were the last three, and then it was three nations within one. It seems like there would be a place for everybody somewhere in that
triangle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have the choice. But here's the thing, though: would one person be worried about the oppression? Would you maybe encourage? Maybe don't worry about this. It doesn't matter. Well, I have a friend that lives over there, and she feels like she has to be forced to believe in Christian values, but that's how you feel. If that's not what's actually happening, would you encourage our countries to get along and dissuade any anti-country propaganda, say against Denbow Stein or Libbyville?
So I'll continue down what my country is about, and then we can get into that.
We may not want to be neighbors with him.
Boom. Okay, yeah. Well,
you guys are going to take keep your loud
You guys are
music
going to
down.
take refugees from my country. I'm just letting you know right now. So we would be very limited government. We would not be big government. We would be very, very minimal. When I talk minimal, I'm saying there would be no foreign aid. Don't even ask us. We are not sending money to anybody. And I know that sounds cold.
Keep
but
it for yourself.
The American government sends all kinds of money to all kinds of places, and we would not participate in that program. We would not participate in programs for our own people. Everybody in my country works. If you don't have a job, then you get out.
Go to Denbow Stein.
So basically, we would have like a rule where if you're not working, you don't get government subsidies whatsoever. There's no entitlements. There's no nothing.
That's not fair.
Too bad, get out. If the only people that the government would take care of are people that were physically disabled, completely and totally unable to work, doing something for the country. Like, you wouldn't be permitted to move into the country if you're permanently disabled physically. If you were partially disabled, then we would find a job that was more suited for your needs before we would give you money for nothing. we would have taxes that were like flat percentage. I know that a lot of people disagree with that, but at the end of the day, if I make $200,000 and I pay 10%, and you make $20,000 and you pay 10%, it's the same portion. There would be no workaround, tax loopholes, none of that. Whatever you make, it's just a percentage. Boom. Whether it's luxury tax, whether any of the different taxes, they're not separated. So 10% of any money that goes into your account is taxed. Boom. That's everybody.
We here at Denbow Stein give you Jimmy Kimmel. You can have him. So here's what it sounds like. It sounds like what we're talking about, the three of us, we are with our own perspectives, our own values, and the way we have lived our lives. We represent the best of America, and so there's that. And then and so it's almost like encouraging, maybe just maybe, to fix certain things or heal divisions and so on and so forth. Maybe something like that could or maybe should happen to go what suits you and your pursuit of life and happiness. And but essentially, we are three sets of American values who agree on a lot and probably go differ on some ways. But we're essentially the American dream, the American values, split into three. I think that's a beautiful, awesome concept. That's unity, folks. Especially considering
three people split completely separate.
And I wouldn't. We're in this together.
Would you guys have militaries?
Absolutely.
I would, but it would probably be way different than...
Different structure?
Yeah, way different structure than our military that
You
we
know,
have. We'll take your physically disabled people in my country
Cool.
because I'll let them run the hotels. And then,
If they can do any work, they'll have jobs in my country.
So
my military would be, and this comes from somebody who was in the military. I would have very, very little, quote unquote, military personnel. All my people would be trained to defend themselves.
Exactly.
In case of an invasion. Like when, it would probably be set like when you're 18, you'll go through training to defend yourself. So yes, we would be a pro-gun country. Because everybody would have...
Israel does that.
Everybody would have arms to...
It almost sounds like the Starship Troopers form of military where it says service guarantees citizenship. So if you're going to serve and do this,
correct,
then there are just certain more access and things that levels you're going to achieve in terms of success and prosperity for the nation and yourself. Versus you can just live there. Sure, you can just live there, but service guarantees. I actually kind of like that approach. It almost sounds like what you were saying.
It's just the government will be super small. And there won't be a lot of expenditures. Basically, everybody is self-sustaining, and they're taking care of themselves. And as long as they stay to themselves, nobody gets in trouble.
So when you mention the military aspect, then therein lies the other part of that question. How does the outside world feel about my nation, or your nation? And what if still, because we still represented the American values just separate, what if the world has a problem with that?
But I would have to bring back the actual American values. Because, well, I don't know anymore.
That's true. But if you,
all the propaganda, all the craziness in the world has changed so much that no one knows what the actual American values anymore. It was supposed to be what? Life, freedom,
and the pursuit of happiness. And if it was constitutional based or... In leadership, especially in Denbow Stein, you can't have, let's say I'm the king and I have my Knights of the Round Table. Complacency is an enemy. So we have to attack complacency. We have to attack greedy ambition. Mm-hmm. And those are the things, like I'm dead serious. I myself can make a mistake. I myself can be wrong. But I'm going to try to hold to integrity in my values and make sure future generations... Well, future generations, and God bless you. But future generations are going to be set because. Hey, I'm trying to do a take here, buddy.
I'm allergic to your shitty opinions.
Man, that's fine.
Just kidding.
I'm leaving that in.
You should.
So, but either way, your nation, and my nation will be susceptible to
the commune of my nation.
Each generation that passes.
I think your nation would go broke.
You think my nation would go to war?
I think your nation would go to war.
I think my nation would be a giant commune of New Age hippies.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But
That's
I'm
what I'm
okay
picturing.
with that.
And
I'm
that's
totally
broke.
okay with that, though.
Broke. At some point, so
Self-sustainable. That's
one of
what
the
it's
biggest
called,
things-
not broke.
I
Probably
always say,
invest in renewable energy
hey,
and everything.
That's right.
at some point you run out of other people's money to spend, and
Well, I don't know what that would make them more peeved, or the fact that we go our own ways, become our own nations, and they just stop getting funding. Are we talking about as is, or as if we always were our nations? Like if it went from the United States of America to our nations, they're gonna be pissed. They're gonna lose their funding that we agreed on.
no. So this is like a country that just randomly popped up out of the ocean, kind of thing. Like the land was never before claimed, and all of a sudden they're like,
Gotcha.
"Hey, there's this 3 million acres."
So the United States still exists
yeah,
in our world.
The United States is still a problem.
20 miles off the coast
United
of
States
Hawaii.
still exists.
Then our biggest problem is gonna be the United States.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, the U.S. getting in our business is going to be our biggest
So
issue.
we'll have to band our 3 countries together.
Have you ever seen Peoria on Family Guy? Something about like the land that he lives on wasn't annexed or whatever, and so like he doesn't belong to the United States, and he makes it called Peoria or something like that,
Yeah,
and he just keeps getting away with all kinds of craziness, shenanigans.
the sovereign nation.
But yeah, I think that we should basically do something different. I just think the biggest problem for us right now is that our government is so overextended, trying to do all kinds of things. I'm better at spending my money than they are, and I just would rather get back to that.
And as much as the values I believe in too, on top of that, because we're not a pretender nation, unless we got some phonies. But let's say, with my values, and you say the resources dry up and a nation is going broke, I'd help.
Well,
And I'm not kissing up to the leader of this country. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't. So you're
He
gonna
wouldn't help because I'm his mother-in-law.
You're
But
going
it's
to be
okay.
the hippie country. You're going to be the Jesus country. I'm going to be the intelligent country.
Well, see, here's the thing, because my hippie country is going to be full of doomsday preppers, too.
I think logic would be,
Logic, yeah.
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 So trust and believe that my country will be able to fend for itself. We'll be able to grow their own food. We'll be able to do everything we need to do to survive.
I would think that you would have the bigger nations than Denbow should, to be honest. I don't know.
I don't
what do
know.
y'all think? What do y'all think?
I would intentionally keep it low. Hey, in the comments,
Do you know who else does
in
that?
The
Do you know who else does that?
In the comments, tell us whose country you've moved to.
Libbyville.
The World
Yeah.
Economic Forum also
Mactropolis.
wants to keep the population low for the world.
That's
what?
right.
What do
That's
you
very true.
What do you say?
The World Economic Forum wants to keep the population very low. 500 million, I believe, of the world.
So if AI, what is one reason why people are so scared of AI taking over the world?
Because also
I
taking
think
over.
I've told you this before.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I can't remember, but it's also taking over you, in any kind of neural meshing and joining of a machine and man.
They're scared. They're scared that they can't process context like a human being with feelings, and logically speaking, the world would be better off with less people. And so, if a machine was trying to make the world better, it would instantly go for
So you're
people being
so
wrong.
I think I realized your secret.
what?
He's a robot.
You're a Tesla model, aren't you?
I don't know. No, I'm not a robot. But
But you understand.
or am I?
The logic of it. You're a high tech model.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if computers could even see that we would be better off with less people, then your country would probably be better off with less people.
All right. Well, and that's fair. That's fair. So I like the balance
wanna be
here.
big.
The balance was ballin'. That was great,
Mm-hmm.
and it just shows where we're at and then where we could possibly go. So that being said, Libby,
Yes.
you, as I said before, have the distinct honor of being our first lady guest on the show, and so as the lady,
Who said I was a lady?
well, gentleman, lady, so on and so forth. But I hear you. What do they call it? Very broad? No. But as the lady of the show, we were wondering if you would join us in a gentleman's challenge.
Yes.
So, the country of Denbow issues a gentleman's challenge to the country of, you didn't even have a name.
I think I threw out Mactropolis. I don't know why.
Mactropolis. I like it. Okay.
don't know why.
Denbow versus Mactropolis. Let's go. On today's Gentleman's Challenge, Libby is a school teacher. Libby will be presenting us with the United States. And then as she lists every individual state between myself and Mac, we will then list what the state capital is. Whoever gets the most state capitals correct will be today's better man. And the one who doesn't will be the lesser man. So, teacher, we're ready to start this Gentleman's Challenge. And I'll let her pick who goes first. Instead, I don't think we need to Rochambeau it.
Exam begins now.
All right, Mac, Alabama.
Montgomery.
Correct. JD, Alaska.
Juneau.
Correct. Arizona.
Phoenix.
Correct. Arkansas.
Little Rock.
Correct. California.
Sacramento.
Correct. Colorado.
Denver.
Connecticut.
Hartford.
Delaware.
Dover.
Yes. Florida.
Tallahassee.
Correct. Georgia.
Atlanta.
Yes. Hawaii.
Honolulu.
Correct. Idaho.
Boise.
Yes, potato. Illinois.
Springfield.
Yes.
Woo!
I was going to say.
I was wanting to say Chicago so bad, but I know it's not Chicago. And I couldn't
Their
get
biggest
Chicago
city.
out of my brain to actually let the other one in.
Indiana.
Indianapolis.
Correct.
Damn you! Why you give him all the easy ones?
Iowa.
Des Moines.
Yes. Kansas.
Topeka.
Yes. Louisiana.
Baton Rouge.
Yes. Kentucky.
Frankfurt.
Yes. Maine.
Augusta.
Yes. Maryland.
Annapolis.
Yes. Massachusetts.
I want to say. I want to say. Boston.
Correct. A little nervous about that one, were you?
I was like, is this another freaking Chicago?
Right.
Michigan.
Lansing.
Yes. I see you gentlemen studied.
No.
Minnesota.
My whole life.
St. Paul.
Yes. Mississippi.
Jackson.
Yes. Missouri.
Jefferson City.
It's like you better know that one. Montana.
Helena.
Yes. Nebraska.
Lincoln.
Yes.
Oof.
Your father-in-law would have been very upset had you missed that one. Nevada.
Carson City.
Yes. New Hampshire.
See, I'll get all of Concord.
Yes.
That's what I told you earlier.
I was stumbling
that
on
one.
that
I
one.
was like really not sure about.
I was gonna say Concord as well, but
I really-
my brain was like, come
I
on,
really
come on.
wanted to Google it.
New Jersey.
Trenton. Trenton
Yes.
is the answer. I wanted to say Newark, but as my instinct, but it's Trenton.
New Mexico.
I think I'm gonna get this wrong.
3,
You can do it.
2.
Albuquerque.
Wrong.
Would you like me to answer New Mexico?
Yes, JD.
Santa Fe.
Yes.
I knew it. I was gonna say Santa Cruz.
Correct.
Santa Fe.
New York.
For me? Mm-hmm. Albany.
Yes.
Wait, he gets to double go?
Well,
Oh yeah, that's
he
fair.
had to answer when you didn't know it.
That's fair.
North Carolina.
Raleigh.
Yes.
I say you'd have to know that one, right?
North Dakota.
North Dakota is Bismarck.
Yes.
Rough Rider country.
Ohio.
Columbus.
Yes.
You remember how I do.
Oklahoma.
See, I'm
Oklahoma
saying
City.
That this is
Yes.
not fair. You've got all the easy ones.
She probably has hard ones for me.
Oregon.
I don't know.
I'm going to say Salem.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You did study.
Just my whole life is all.
Pennsylvania.
This is one that used to trip me up, but I know it's Harrisburg.
Yes.
I used to think Philadelphia.
Rhode Island.
Providence.
Yes.
Good job.
South Carolina.
Columbia.
South Dakota.
See? St. Pierre.
Yes.
That's like one of the hardest ones.
Isn't it just Pierre, though?
It is Pierre.
Okay.
But I was going to give it to him.
But you are
because
the teacher. You're
he
the
did
teacher.
say, if it was one of my students, I would have said, yes, take the saint off.
That's what a teacher does.
Because we're kind.
Indeed.
Tennessee.
Whiskey.
Please. Nashville.
Yes. Texas.
Austin.
Yes. Oops, I almost gave your point to JD. Utah.
Salt Lake City.
Yes. Vermont.
Montpelier.
Yes. Virginia.
Richmond.
Yes. Washington.
I don't know.
JD.
Olympia.
Yes.
I used to think Tacoma, but yeah, it was Olympia.
West Virginia.
Charleston.
Yes.
That's game.
Wisconsin.
That's game.
We're still being graded.
Oh, we're going through. We're doing all
Wait.
50.
The teacher has to determine the end of the test.
When I lost, or when you lost before, we got to just freaking end it.
I know, but let's defer to the
We
teacher.
have 2 states left.
As I say, the
Mac.
teacher's call.
Wisconsin.
Green Bay. I'm
mean,
not playing this stupid game anymore.
We're trying to educate the audience, too, that maybe you're learning something here today.
Exactly. Take a just. I'll give you a hint. Do you want a hint? Dolly.
Lambeau. Parton. Dollywood.
Sorry. Is this me? Is it me now?
This is rubbing
Also-
it in.
Madison.
Yes. Wyoming.
Cheyenne.
Yes.
So, so I'll clarify for any doubters. I didn't study.
I did.
My father made sure I learned this because we would quiz each other on the capitals on any road trip a lot just because we found it fun. Yeah, but that's my history of the states capitals.
No one cares.
But I was just clarifying. I was just clarifying for those that maybe wanted to hear it.
I was just trying to be a sore loser.
As a teacher, I'm glad you know your state capitals.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
congratulations on being the better man for today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The lost streak for you has ended today.
It has. Was there a streak?
Yeah, there was a streak.
So, teacher, I wish I had an apple to provide for you. I thought about it, and I think I ate it, honestly. So I
You
do
definitely
apologize.
should hook her up after her giving you every single easy state. And every single hard state was on my side. Somehow, even though I won the...
Well, to be fair,
thing.
the ones that were hard that you answered right, you got, and the ones you got wrong, I had the answer for.
Nobody knows about Washington.
I knew about Washington.
Yeah, because you studied.
I just remembered because I just remembered never to say Tacoma and what was left. And I was like, I know it ain't Seattle. So
That was the only one that was popping into my head. I still forgot it. What was it?
Olympia.
I don't even know that city.
As today's better man, we're going to go ahead and seg right into the comeuppance for the lesser man.
Welcome to Gentleman's Kitchen. I am going to be making you a sandwich today. One of my personal favorites. I normally start with this bologna right in front of me. This bologna. Yep. Couple slices of that.
Yeah.
Preferably without the red stuff around it, but that's fine. We can, you know what? Screw it. We'll leave the red on. We'll grab some. Yeah, mayonnaise works. We'll grab some mayonnaise.
So bologna and mayo so far.
Yeah, bologna and mayonnaise.
With the red ring around the mayo or that bologna.
It gives it extra flavor.
Oh,
Yeah, extra-
did you study to do this? Like you know a lot about food.
Culinary expertise from Sheboygan. I went to Sheboygan State, so then I grabbed some pickles right here. Some pickles. I like pickles on the bologna.
So you went right out of college and formed a gentleman's kitchen.
Yeah, Gentleman's Kitchen. I came up with it myself. Yep, I like pickle. A lot of pickle.
Is that your favorite ingredient?
I think I'm going to call it quits on that. We'll just go ahead and set that pickle down. We'll grab some bacon bits.
Okay.
Grab some bacon bits. Sprinkle the bacon. Yep, bacon bits.
Oh, you are a bacon fan.
That's fine. We'll grab that top piece of bread. We'll just put it right there on the top.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, you want a bite of it? Or do I?
Oh no, I went there. You made it. You should have first bite. You have tears in your eyes. Is it that beautiful?
Great sandwich. Do you want me to make you a sandwich?
Well, you know, I just witnessed a work of art, so yes, I would love some of your work.
Okay, we're gonna do that right now.
Do you have a suggest? You know what? I'm pretty picky. Can I actually suggest a sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you like? I've got all kinds of stuff in front of me.
Let's see. Let's start with some jelly. I like jelly.
Jelly. So I got jelly right there. Oh, got my mayonnaise knife. Just don't worry about the mayonnaise on the jelly. It goes fine together.
I trust you.
The tastes blend. Yeah, tomato. I got some tomato.
So it's a BLJ. It's a bacon, lettuce, and jelly.
Something like that. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, big old hunk of tomato. That might be the wrong side. I'm gonna grab the other side. I'll leave that side on there. Yep, that side's fine.
Okay.
Anything else? Is that good?
May I have a dab of peanut butter on top of that tomato, please? Just a dab.
Oh, PBJ. Oh, that's very nice choices.
Thank you.
Very nice choices.
Sorry, we just mopped.
So basically, it's like it's your version of like a peanut butter and jelly, but with pickle, tomato, and mayonnaise.
And bacon.
And bacon.
Would you do me the honor, of your culinary expertise? Would you please taste it for me and tell me if I have the vision that you have?
So I get to.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
What do you think? Did you get the tomato in that bite? Because that really accentuates what I'm going for. Oh, okay. I see. I see. Thank you. So, do I have the magic touch? The gift? Oh, man.
Perfecto.
I am so... Thank you.
God, wash that down real quick.
Oh, be my guest. Yeah.
I need to cleanse my palate.
We don't need to overload the palate.
I need to cleanse my palate really badly right now. Just tip. There we go.
You're definitely a minimalist. There we go. There you go. Wash that down.
Yeah, that was good.
So you approve of that. So if you like this one, then you might like my idea for the next one. I'm going to go ahead and remove this.
Yeah.
Gosh,
The peanut butter's awful strong on that one.
we're going to have a lot of leftovers on, obviously.
Yeah.
I would like a sandwich that has some potato chips.
Potato chips coming up.
Pre-chewed works. But yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
That's a
Good
little
potato chips. I like this brand.
Good. Well, we're about to make it even better. So, I'm good, thank you. I appreciate it.
More chips.
Yeah, you really like those chips. It smells like barbecue. Is that what it was?
Definitely barbecue.
So, I think the next ingredient that's really going to bring this to life.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Could you grab the ranch, please?
Yeah, I'd love to grab the ranch. I love ranch.
Okay, so if you
My
could
favorite,
just
personally.
put a nice spattering of ranch on there. Perfect. Okay, now not too much. You don't want to spoil it. You definitely don't want to spoil it. Is that a good ranch?
Yeah, exquisite.
Oh.
Okay.
I think salami on top of the ranch.
Salami.
Which should be over
That's
there
all
on your
the way
right.
to my right.
By the yes.
Yeah.
A deal of salami.
Salami. How much of that salami are we getting?
A couple pieces because you definitely want to up your meats. Up your meats.
Meat intake, important. Got it.
Because I always up mine. You should definitely up
Yep,
yours.
right there.
Okay, so now the next step in this whole thing is the secret.
Okay, secret sauce.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
It's there at the front of the table there. You're good for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
There's
grab
a
that.
lot going on here. I see why you wouldn't be able to.
Let's grab that ketchup.
And
This is a fun day. This is just so fun.
I'm glad we have this idea to create and give back.
I love this day. Ketchup, ranch, chips, and salami, huh?
That's kind of. I feel like maybe
How many
there's
times have you made this sandwich?
in my dreams often.
Often. Okay.
So
Do you want to eat it then?
well, I'm trying to get you to see if I'm worthy of going to your culinary school.
Oh, okay.
In Sheboygan.
Yeah.
Will Sheboygan accept me?
Sheboygan Culinary Arts.
There you
Yeah.
go. So
Okay.
I think to round that out, to really put the stank on it, we're going to need, I can't remember, was it mustard?
My fingers smell awful. By the way.
Oh, I got it. Could you chop up, it was lettuce. Lettuce was what was missing.
Lettuce is the missing ingredient.
It is the ingredient.
Maybe I should just rip the lettuce off and put it on there.
I don't know how you're,
I feel nervous about that knife for some weird reason. There we go.
okay, so
Yeah,
no more Mr. Knife Guy. Got it.
Yeah, no more Mr. Knife Guy.
Okay, I'll help you with that. There you go.
I love rabbit food.
I was going to say, you remind me of a rabbit just then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jessica Rabbit.
So you don't want to do too much. You don't want it to overpower. So to bring the balance back, could you, because you really don't want to steal the flavor too much, I'm going to recommend putting on just a little bit more ketchup to really, that way you get that's hitting the top of your roof first, on your
That's
buds.
us back over here. Let's grab that ketchup. Let's get some more ketchup on that because we don't have enough already.
All right, so this is it. This is the gentleman's sandwich. So it's either this or nothing that's going to send me to Sheboygan.
This will headline our restaurant.
And what I need, yes, it's the seller, the big
this
seller.
is-
What I'm going to need, though,
Headliner.
just to make sure, because I want to make sure we're good,
Yeah.
could I get 2 bites?
2.
I mean, it's one, and then followed up with, I couldn't believe my senses. It was good.
How about one very large bite?
I mean, my feelings are at stake here, too. I need you, Mac. You want to help out your fellow better man? Oh, wow.
Oh, that's very good.
Did you
sandwich.
get the ranch in that?
Yeah.
Can you chase the chip? Mm-hmm. Okay, that was the special punch.
Mmm.
Oh. You want another bite? Are you getting full? Alrighty. So, hey, thank you so much for.
Yeah, thanks for showing me your world famous sandwich that will be the headliner of our new Sheboygan.
I think we should leave it up
whatever I
to
said.
we should leave it up to the audience to decide what to name this sandwich. So,
Sheboygan special.
the Sheboygan special.
That's what my vote's for.
I
Sheboygan
hope-
special.
Hopefully, the people of Sheboygan will back us. So, well, I thank you so much for your time on your show, The Gentleman's Kitchen.
Of course.
And for making me a sandwich.
Yeah, man.
So,
Thanks for coming on.
let's go ahead and just clean this mess up. And a little something on your eye there.
Do I?
Yeah. So, okay. That was the Comeuppance for the Lesser Man, A Gentleman's Kitchen. We would like to go ahead and give credit to where the inspiration for that came from. That would be, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Fans of the show might recognize that segment.
Yeah.
So, that was Mac. Thank you for participating.
Chef Mac in the house.
Good job. Good job. That was a good sandwich. Was it a good sandwich?
Delicious. I am not hungry anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, or ever again?
It killed my appetite for a good portion of time, I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, let us know when you're ready to eat again. You can tweet about it. Let the fans know that are concerned before Friday's episode. Anyway, teacher.
Yes.
Thank you for your participation in that little segment.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I thought it was just Mac standing here making the sandwich. I couldn't tell the difference. So, I mean, it was so natural
Didn't
for me.
even notice that I was using my own arms.
I'm just like, man, look at him go with the
It's just
sandwich.
Fluid movements.
So that's why I'm just really proud of you all, and thank you. So that being said, let's go ahead and go into our hot takes. Okay, so our hot takes for today, as the better man for the day, I would like to defer to Libby for her hot take. The first ever ladies' hot take.
So my hot take is probably going to anger people because I say that Nightmare on Elm Street movies are better than Friday the 13th movies. Don't tell my son I said that. Sorry, Devin. Because Friday the 13th are his favorite because he loves Jason. But really, I mean, Jason goes to space. He's in downtown Manhattan.
I'll say he travels. He goes to Manhattan for sure.
So whatever happened to Camp Crystal Lake and staying there and hanging out there?
Basics, you mean?
Yeah. You know, the storyline, the plot.
It almost did seem to get a little campier as it went, huh?
Yeah. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street, they stay to their roots the whole time. Freddy comes in your dreams. Yes, they've pulled him out of dreams.
I saw a few of those films. I did not, I didn't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry. But I saw a few of those films, and one thing that was different for me going into the third film was he seemed to be funnier. Freddy, it just seemed it got funnier for me whenever I did rewatch those films. So.
Well, I mean, he was in an insane asylum torturing those children, so yeah, it had to be a little funnier.
Scary Terry from Rick and Morty is still the funniest.
Scary Terry is a parody of Freddy Krueger.
I mean, I think one of the best scenes was poor Johnny Depp getting sucked into the waterbed and then spewed back out again onto the ceiling.
That had to be a tragedy for you to watch. Just such a waste of good Depp.
The two loves of your life collide.
Freddie and Johnny. Robert Englund and Johnny.
Would you ever watch Freddy versus Johnny?
No. Only if Johnny won, I think, because I love Robert Englund, but Johnny would have to beat him. But I mean, really, even in Freddy versus Jason, and this will anger people, they all say, oh, Jason won because he had Freddy's head. Yeah, well, when he was walking up the dock with Freddy's head, Freddy winked at you. Did Jason really win? No, he did not. Freddy now has Jason under his control.
Yeah, you got to sleep sometime.
That's right.
I think that's pretty trendy of its time as far as the Versus movie, because there was a movie called Alien versus Predator that came out about the same time. And that was a hell thing, too. A whole horde of aliens versus maybe one or two predators.
Yeah.
And the Predator seemingly won after he gave up his life. But as the movie was ending and the Predators were taking off with his body, an alien burst out of his chest at the end, similar to the Freddy wink.
Yeah, exactly.
Very trendy.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy? So you didn't enjoy any of the Jason movies, or just the basics?
I mean, I liked part 4, the final chapter, because Corey Feldman was in it, and I'm a huge Corey Feldman fan, and always have been.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've seen most all of the Friday the 13th movies, just because I'm a huge horror buff.
Sure.
So I'm gonna watch all the movies.
What about New Nightmare? Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
I liked it.
You did like it? Okay.
I did.
That one actually creeped me out.
I liked it because it seemed, I don't know, it brought Freddy and documentary together in a sense.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really cool, the way that Wes Craven did it. I mean, he's ingenious.
I couldn't believe that something like that could scare me again. I was like, yeah, you already know it's fake. And then I was like, ooh, that chill factor hit me. I was like, that's really creepy.
Well, see, and you have to think that even Hollywood thought Freddy was better than Jason because you got the TV show back in the 80s called Freddy's Nightmares.
Yes.
And yeah, so Freddy got his own show. Jason got nada.
Yeah, so I think I agree with you. Freddy was more marketable. He was the better choice and the fan favorite. Hollywood backed the right one in that film.
Until they tried to remake Nightmare on Elm Street.
That was the 2010 remake?
Yes. And you take Robert Englund out of the Nightmare on Elm Street equation as Freddy, and you lose every bit of Nightmare on Elm Street to me.
I don't want to say it was almost too serious. Like, the first one was serious, but there was something about it that was just not really appealing.
The actor that played Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Robert
Jackie Earls or whatever his name is.
Something. I don't know.
A fine actor.
He's too short.
Yeah.
He couldn't do the voice. The makeup was off.
I was going to ask you about the makeup.
Yeah, the makeup was completely off, and it wasn't right. To me, his clothes weren't even right.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the whole movie was off, and it was almost like a bad copy, in a sense.
The Great Value Freddy?
Yeah, there you go.
Like, Scary Terry was more legit than this remake.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites now of the modern horror genre?
I love Jordan Peele movies, too.
Okay, yeah.
Us, Them, Nope.
Yeah, Nope was the most recent one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The trailers made me very curious, but I just have not gotten around to watching that.
You should watch it. It's really good.
Okay, recommendation there. Got it.
I mean, I laugh at horror movies, but yeah, you should definitely watch it.
The people that laugh at horror movies are the ones I'm like, not for any reason. It's like, horror movies actually scare me. Typically, I watched The Grudge in 2004. Mm-hmm. Myself and my friend at the time, we were two grown adults screaming, jump scaring.
That's funny.
It was terrible. And I didn't trust Japanese people for 6 months. I couldn't look at them. And this is the honest truth. I even said that. I was like, oh, gosh, I'm getting Grudge vibes here. That would probably be the one that scared me the most.
Really? There's only one horror film ever that has ever scared me. And I watched The Exorcist when I was 5.
Okay.
And so, but there's only been one horror movie ever in my life that has scared me. And I can't even go to the bathroom by myself after I watch it or while I'm watching it.
Wow.
And I won't watch it anymore. I've only ever watched it twice, I think.
Wow. What's the title of this one?
Candyman.
Wow. Okay.
And I met the man who played Candyman.
Tony Todd?
Yes. And I told him to his face, I said, I just want to tell you scared the bejesus out of me. And he said, oh, good. Then I'm doing my job.
Yeah. A big compliment, I bet.
Yeah. Because I've been to 2 horror conventions.
Yeah.
So Blood at the Beach, which, I guess they stopped doing it after the 2. But yeah, so I got to meet a lot of horror actors. And
nice.
It was fabulous.
Candyman's my wife is scared of that one too. Like, that's her
go-to. I hate
go-to.
that movie.
So speaking on The Exorcist, I don't know if you heard the news, if you're on horror news or not.
I'm not, but I should be.
They've done remade or try to do all kinds of reboots for
Sequeled
it.
it.
So there's another one coming out. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but they got what's her name? Reagan Ledbetter.
Yeah, something like that.
She's coming back to reprise the role for the next Exorcist film.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, well, that's cool for those horror fans. I read that yesterday.
That should be interesting.
So it's something to pay attention to and look out for when it comes out.
Yes.
So, horror movie fans, what's your favorite scary movie? Let us know in the comments. And Mac, do you have a hot take for us today?
Yeah, I'll keep mine pretty short and to the point. I think that for 90s punk rock, that Green Day is overrated. I like Green Day, but I think that they are not the clear and away number one. Actually, I think that there's a different number one who is underrated.
Who?
And that band would be The Offspring.
Oh, I love The Offspring.
Mm-hmm. I think that The Offspring are seriously underrated. And maybe it's 1A, 1B. Maybe you've got Green Day 1A. but they need to come down a little bit, and Offspring
Like
needs to
one
come
was,
up.
you're saying one was the face and one was actually the actual, like the true movement for the movement?
No, I think that they did different things with influencing punk rock. You had the Bay Area punk rock, you had SoCal punk rock, and I think that the Pretty Fly for a White Guy song really ruined the Offspring's reputation with most people that like punk rock, and so they just kind of like erased their memory of everything that they had done in the 90s
That's a shame.
after that song.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, if you ask somebody about 90s punk rock, their first answer is always Green Day. But nobody mentions Offspring, and I think that that's kind of a faded take. I think that the Offspring was, at least for me, it was more influential. They had chart toppers. I mean, they were clearly front running Green Day for a little bit. But I mean, Come Out and Play, Self Esteem. There were multiple other songs that they made that were just chart toppers. And Green Day was not the only punk rock band in the 90s that was popular.
What about Cake? Do you like them?
Oh, I love Cake. I love Cake. I'm probably one of the biggest Cake fans.
As soon as you asked that, I knew what he was going to say. I was like, he is a Cake fan.
When I used to do open mic nights, one of my favorite songs to do was Cake doing I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor song, but in the style of how Cake played it. And it catches people off guard because a lot of people aren't familiar with it.
Yeah.
And so they try to like sing it on the beat and like get all up tempo peppy. And it's just kind of that Cake feel, that laid back groove.
Yeah.
And so it kind of catches people off, and they don't really understand it in the beginning, but they think it's cool. And so that was one of my favorites to always play.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to get you on an open mic here eventually. I know not today, but
Maybe one day.
maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
I think punk even lately is overshadowed. And just, I almost hate I don't hear anyone talking about it anymore, but it was a big thing, and even in the early 2000s, it was still like it was going strong, and then it just kind of just disappeared.
For like amateur guitar players, like, and I'm not trying to knock on people that play punk rock music. There is complexity and there is difficulty in punk rock, but there are a lot of just like power chords, bar chords that you're playing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you're first learning how to play, pick it up like When I Come Around or something like that, is like one of the first go-to, like you learn how to play chords that way. So.
Do you have a favorite punk song? Go to.
The Kids Aren't All Right.
Oh, that's a good one.
Cool.
That would probably be my favorite.
Cool.
What do you have for us, JD?
My hot take. So I had a hot take where it's not that I came in guns blazing against it. I just didn't care about it. And then I changed my mind. And I'm talking about recycling. Recycling, when I say I don't care about it, it makes it sound like I don't care about the world. But it's just, I didn't want to take the personal time and responsibility to divvy up everything. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. And trust me, in Denbow Stein, there will be full measures when it comes to taking care of our planet. But I changed my mind because, and here's where it might get a little dicey. I changed my mind not for the reasons people would hope. I changed my mind because in my household, not anyone's household really, you order a lot of Amazon. You get a lot of boxes built up. You get just more trash. I drink a soda called Zavia. You've seen it. And usually if I'm on a Zavia, I only like drink it when I eat, but when I'm eating, I'll have like three or four cans. Anyway, I'm saying trash sack builds up.
Don't tell me that you're going to say recycling is good because you get an extra can.
So when I realize I'm running out of room in my can, and we get a hold of the city saying, hey, what do I need to do to get another can? They're like, oh, it costs this much. And I said, oh, no. What am I supposed to do? And then that's when, thanks to the little website pointed out to me, and a family member also pointed out to me, that they will provide you with a recycling can for free. And I said, you know what? It is about time we save this planet. And I was blind all these years. So this can is dropped off free of charge. I now have a separate trash can in the home strictly for recyclables. I have learned the importance of being selfless and giving back to our world. And on the day of trash day and recycle day, I just take one can out, dump the clinks of the bottles and boxes, and you name it, everything that can recycle can. And I also get to dump my big, large bag of trash I still have. And I realized I was selfish, but again, the rewarding feeling of giving back was everything to me. So my hot take is people that that feel a certain way about something, and wait until you try it. And maybe ask yourself, could you be doing more? Maybe just look outside of yourself for a change. That's my hot take. Recycle and enjoy. Greta Thunberg herself said, we have a future to work towards, and how dare we steal that away.
I think both sides are right.
So,
to a degree.
That's, well, there we go. So, hey, Denbow Stein pledges. I think that'll wrap up our hot take segment. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I think we did cover a lot of topics today in a manner most refined. And I particularly like how we covered the sandwich making topic. That was about as refined as it gets, folks, on this show. And it was pretty good. As today's better man, let me just say it was better man approved. I would love to do that again.
I would like to be on the other side of it. I'd like to see it from a different view.
I'm sure you would make a wonderful sandwich for me. But maybe we'll revisit down the line. Would you like to see that one brought up again? Let us know in the comments. I would like to also thank Libby for being on the show today.
Absolutely.
Did you have a good time, Libby?
I had a blast.
Awesome.
Good.
We also had a blast just talking with you and just shooting the shit, as we say.
For sure.
Would you come back?
I would.
Yeah. Okay. So 3 guests are so far are good to go. I'm waiting for the one that won't come back, who probably storms off set.
Only one of the 3 got punished so far.
That is true.
The fact that we got a yes vouch from them.
To you, Chris.
Yeah. That was a big one. It's easy to come back when you're winning.
That is true. That is true. Perry, we'll see you soon, buddy. All right. With that being said, I think every topic we covered today came together to form a perfect take.
Or a gentleman's take.
Indeed, with a smack of lady take.
That's right.
Smack of lady take.
Until we meet again, be sure to sit back, sip some bourbon,
smoke a stogie,
and appreciate the finer things in life. Also, go see the Chicago White Sox opening day on Thursday, March 30th. Baseball, baby!
Go Yankees.
The Audience Take.
We want to hear from you.
Any suggestions or requests for future takes, challenges, comeuppance, or criticisms, please email us at AGentlemansTakePodcast@gmail.com.
Don't forget to check out our Twitter and Instagram pages for exclusive content.